Jai Hind all of you. I am Dr. Rahul Bansal from Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. So this one is the next video lecture for electron devices KEC 301. So let us start. So in this video we will be discussing about the extension of the wave theory of the atom, okay, which is like derived from the Schrodinger wave equation. Okay. So in this first we will consider an atom with one electron, okay, or you can say like hydrogen atom, okay, which is having like some potential function with that associated with that, right. So first we will only briefly consider the mathematical details and the wave function solution, but the results are like very interesting. Okay, if you see carefully, these results are really like very interesting mathematically, right. So if we consider according to the classical model, that is we consider that one heavily charged particle, that is like proton, okay, so it is like surrounded by the negatively charged particle, that is the electron, okay. So the negatively charged particle, okay, this is accordance with the Bohr's theory. It will revolve around the nucleus, right. The potential function is due to the force of attraction, okay, and it is in between the electron and the proton, and it is given by V is equal to, one second. So basically it is given by, this potential function is given by V is equal to minus of E square divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R, right. So this E is called as the charge on an electron, which is having the value of 1.6 into 10 square minus 19 coulomb, and this epsilon is the permittivity in the free space, right, and this R is the radial distance. Now if we see the time independent Schrodinger wave equation, so it is like given by del 2 psi r theta phi plus 2 m naught divided by h dash square E minus Vr multiplied by psi r theta phi, right. So this is basically the Schrodinger time independent equation, okay. In the previous video lecture we have discussed in the Cartesian coordinate system, but now this is in the spherical coordinate system, okay, where the Cartesian coordinate system is replaced by the spherical coordinate system r theta phi, right. So this is the time independent Schrodinger wave equation in the spherical coordinate system, right. Further, if we see carefully, del 2 psi r theta phi plus 2 m naught divided by h dash square multiplied by E minus V into psi r theta phi is equal to 0. Okay. So if we put the value of this del 2 psi, it's, if we expand this, if we use the basic formula associated with this, then we will have the value, that is 1 upon r square del upon del r multiply del upon del r r square del psi upon del r plus 1 upon r square sin square theta del 2 psi upon del phi square plus 1 upon r square sin square theta del upon del theta sin theta del psi upon del theta plus, so this is the result that we have like obtained from this equation, this particular part of this equation. Now this can be written as like as it is, which is 2 m naught divided by h dash square E minus Vr into psi, right. Now if you see carefully, if I replace this psi with the separated variables. Okay. So separation of the variable technique we can use to separate them. So sine r theta phi can be written as r into theta into phi, where this r is a function of this small r, this theta is a function of like this theta, and phi is a function of this phi. Okay, so this can be written in terms of these functions r theta phi, right? So if I put this value in this first equation, if I say this one is equation like A, in this equation A, if I put this value, sine r theta phi is equal to r into theta into phi, then what I will get is this equation. Sine square theta divided by r, del upon del r square, del r upon del r, plus 1 upon phi, del to phi upon del phi square, plus del sin theta upon theta, multiply by del upon del theta, sin theta into del theta upon del theta, right? Plus r square sin square theta, 2m naught divided by h dash square, E minus V is equal to 0. So this is obtained by solving the previous one. Okay. So this is basically the simple partial differential equation solution. Okay, in which we differentiate one variable and other variable are considered to be as constant, right? So from this equation, if I say this equation is B equation, this equation is equation B. So if we consider one case, that is this second term is actually independent of this r and theta. This term is completely dependent on this phi. So if we consider only this term, what I will have is 1 upon phi del to phi upon del phi square is equal to minus m square, where this m is called as the separation of the variable constant, right? So this is basically the second order partial differential equation, and we can solve this second order partial differential equation easily. So after solving this, what I will get is this phi is equal to e raised to power j m into phi, where this m is having the value that is 0, plus minus 1, plus minus 2, and so on. Now we are having the expression for this phi term, that is e raised to power j m phi, right? So if we incorporate the separation of the variable constant, we can further separate the variable band r, and we can generate the two additional separation of the variable constant from 1 to n, right? So the separation of the variable constant n 1 to m are known as the quantum numbers, and they are related by n is equal to 1, 2 and 3 and so on, right? And this L is equal to n minus 1, n minus 2 and so on, right? Up to like 0 if you consider. So each set of quantum number corresponds to a quantum state which is in which electron may occupy. Okay. So this was further explained by Pauli's acceleration principle also. Okay. Now if you see the electron energy relation, mathematical relation can be derived as like we can obtain this like En is equal to minus m naught into e raised to power 4 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught square multiply by 2 h dash square into n square. In the previous video lecture, we have already discussed this h dash value is equal to h upon 2 pi, right? So you should not be confused in this term, right? So if you see carefully this term, if I see this equation is like C equation, this energy is actually negative, right? So this negative energy indicates that the electron is bound with the nucleus. And where this n, if you see, n is called as the principal quantum number, right? So what we can postulate from this, right? Energy of the bound electron is quantized, as this n value is having the discrete values. It is not having the continuous values, it is having the discrete values. So if at all m is having the discrete values, it means that energy is quantized, right? So the energy were bound to be like positive. If at all we consider this energy is bound to be like positive, then the electron would no longer be bound to the pinnacle. Okay, it will not be bound to the nucleus, and total energy would not be like quantized. Okay, so the total energy of the electron can take only the discrete values, and it will be negative. Why it is negative? Because it shows that electrons are bound to the nucleus, right? I hope this concept is now clear, right? Now we can draw the graphical representation of the radial probability density function, okay, of one electron in the lowest energy state, as you can see from the diagram like A, figure A, right? So this is basically the radial distance, okay, and this one is the probability. So you can just see at a particular value of like A value, it is having the highest value, and it will decrease as the radial distance increases. Now for next higher energy state, the energy, the radial probability density function can be drawn like this. Okay, first it will increase and decrease to a like lowest value, then it will increase for the peak values. You can see peak values probability. So this is the radial probability density function. Now if we consider a hypothetical phenomena, okay, and in this hypothetical phenomena we are consider that the hydrogen type atom. So if we consider the hydrogen type atom are like far apart from each other, okay, and initially they are like very far and they are begin to push, okay, we are like giving some force and they are like pushing so that they come to closer to each other, okay. But the results are very interesting in this case, if you see. So initial quantized energy, if I say these are having some initial quantized energy, so initial quantized energy will split into the band of the discrete energy level, okay, and this effect, if you see, is as shown in this diagram, okay, where this R naught is basically denotes the equilibrium atomic distance in the crystal, okay. So whenever these atoms are far apart from this, so they are having some discrete energy level. If I say this one is like E naught. Now when the atoms are like pushed so that they come closer to each other, then this energy is split into the band of the discrete energy level, right? As you can see, this is now start splitting, right, when the hydrogen atom are come closer to each other, or you can say radial distance, that is interatomic distance is reduced, then this energy level will be splitted into the another discrete energy level, Okay, so this was further explained by the Pauli's exclusion principle. So at the equilibrium interatomic distance, there is a band of the allowed energy, but within the allowed band, energy are like having the discrete energy level. Okay, so what does the Pauli's exclusion principle says? It simply says that the joining of the atom to form a single crystal, or if you say like to form a system, it doesn't alter the number of the quantum state regardless of the size. Okay, now we can draw another postulate from this, right? No two electron can have the same quantum number. The discrete energy level must split into the band of the energies in order that each electron can occupy the distinct quantum state. So these are the some postulates that were drawn by the Pauli's exclusion principle, right? So what we can conclude from all these discussions, whenever the atoms are come closer to each other, then the energy will be splitted into the discrete energy level. Now these discrete energy level are such that no two electron can have the same quantum number. Okay, the discrete energy level must split into the band of the energies. Okay, and no two electron can have the same quantum number. So this is the main postulate that can be drawn from this whole discussion. Okay, so this one is for this video lecture. Now we will be discussing about the EK diagrams and what are the physical significance of this in the next video lecture, right? Till then, Jai Hind.